This is me, Dick Strawbridge, my wife Angel, and our 2 children in our glorious French chateau.
We haven't ever regretted what we've done. It is so worth it.
We moved here 3 years ago to follow our dream of living life in our very own castle.
Oh my God!
But it's not been easy,
I think I'm a bit too old for this.
as dozens of other Brits know only too well.
Oops. Floor needs replacing as well.
Because it turns out we're not the only expats who have bought a French chateau.
Wow, absolutely love it.
25-year-old Bordeaux.
Motherload!
In this series, we'll reveal how we're running our chateau as a business.
There's not a thing about making sausages that I don't find humorous.
I'm still finding things that I haven't seen.
And see how these daring Brits are running theirs.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. This place is done up.
As they face the ups
It's really beautiful.
This is a rare moment, but I am genuinely at peace.
and downs
It's a lot worse than it looks.
of their new lives in these crumbling and magnificent buildings.
It is a bit of a fantasy, living in a French chateau.
We might have a few problems on the way, but that's part of life, isn't it?
Yeah.
Today,
Stop it! Get away!
it's fun and games at one chateau as it's prepared for the arrival of its investors.
We need to get on top of it. Get on top of the goats.
Until the investors actually arrive, that is.
I was amazed how anti people were. I wasn't expecting quite the backlash.
It's a mad rush for one couple setting up an anniversary party at their chateau.
Loads of nails fell into that sink because just exhausted, really.
And a single mum struggles to get her chateau ready for a visit from the local mayor.
I'm rushing, thinking about Louis. Grab a tea. Stay.
The beautiful Chateau de Jalène. It's managed by couple Michael and Jonathan.
We were civilly partnered 5 years ago on a very joyful occasion with all our family and friends, and everything was going great. And then we decided to buy a chateau.
They bought it for £750,000 4 years ago, and with the help of investors, have transformed it into what it is today.
It was great, it was fantastic, but then it all started to unravel.
We knew we were taking a risk. We didn't think it was going to be this big a risk.
Located in the Pays de la Loire, the chateau hasn't been making money. If they can't make it pay for itself by the end of the summer, they may have to quit.
This is our home, it's all we've got.
Everything we have is now invested in this, so we haven't got a fallback option. All our eggs are in the one basket.
And over the next few days, these eggs could be under threat.
The Investors' Week is coming up. They can vote us out just as easily as they voted us in. Michael and I could lose our jobs. It's as simple as that.
So Michael and Jonathan have a plan for the chateau's banqueting hall that they hope will please the investors.
We ordered some artwork and they delivered it to the farm next door. So the farmer's kindly said that he'll bring it round here.
They're hoping this artwork will make the chateau more appealing to prospective wedding clients and, in turn, the investors.
We had some feedback from Bright who visit the place saying it looks a bit of a blank canvas. It's hard for them to visualise what it's going to look like.
Oh, look! He's brought it on a forklift truck. Oh, my God. Is it hitting the ground? Oh, my.
How much did you say that's worth?
10 grand.
They're worth 10 grand, but thrifty Jonathan actually got them for 5. It's crucial they aren't damaged.
Good on him.
Only in France. Fantastic.
Try and get that through the letterbox.
That's all right. He can see it. He can see it. Superb.
Merci, Jean-Denis.
Jean-Denis, ça va?
Très bien.
Merci bien pour ça.
Inside a 20 reproduction of famous French-themed paintings, most of them by French artists.
I'm so excited. I've never spent this much money. If you imagine going to the January sales with 10 grand in your pocket, that's how excited I am. I've never spent that much money. Never.
Bought a house once.
Yeah, but no, that's a paper transaction, isn't it? What are you doing? Hang on, you're ahead of me again.
You've got to go this way, you've got to go this way.
No,
There's nails this way.
Come on. I just want to see the top one.
Seen it.
Stop it! Get away! You're so horrible. No, I want to see what they're like. Oh, my God. Pull it off.
Should we be a bit more delicate?
No. Go. Take it. Oh, my God. I want to put it somewhere. Absolutely magnificent. These are digital restorations of the original. Now we need to get these into the banqueting hall. I can take 2.
Tomorrow they start the task of putting them up. 2.5 hours drive northwest of Jonathan and Michael is another chateau, Chateau Beo. It's the splendid home of husband and wife, Philip and Angelina Bailey-Smith.
There wasn't an argument. I said, we're going to go live here in a chateau in France, Chateau Beo. Right. It was literally
No, it wasn't like, all right. It was like, yeah, I want it. Call them now. I want it. I'm signing.
They're renting the 17th century place in the Pays de la Loire region of northern France to try their hand at chateau life before deciding whether or not to buy thetheir own.
To me, the dream of living in a chateau and making it pay for itself is alive and well, and I couldn't genuinely think of living back in London now. I couldn't.
As a first step to starting an events business at the chateau, Phil and Angelina have taken on the challenge of hosting a 50th wedding anniversary party. Over the last 8 weeks, they've cleared the grounds, built a bar, and even a bridge.
Last one's yours, fella.
Go on.
With a little help from yours truly. Now the big day has finally arrived.
Looks stunning. Really, really stunning.
And Phil and Angelina, joined by a few local helpers, are working flat out to get the chateau ready before the 50th anniversary couple arrive in 2 hours' time.
Phil, I'm just a bit worried about the amount of glitter ribbon. I just don't think I have enough.
With 60 guests expected, Phil wants to make sure the way to the party is well signposted.
It's a bit stressful if you park in the wrong place. French neighbours shouting, why are you parking in my driveway? And no, I don't, you know, this isn't a party, this is my house. It's going to be a little bit embarrassing. It's also a bit stressful for the start of the party.
We need to make a sign that's nice and clear for all the visitors. So we found a beautiful frame that I bought. I think it's stunning, really full of character, very chateau-y. You have pencil?
No, I don't.
You have measuring tape?
Inside.
I'll go and get the ruler.
No, I don't need a ruler, I need a pencil.
Yeah, but I need straight line.
Oh, yeah, you get the ruler, I'll get a pencil will be helpful, thanks.
The pressure's starting to take its toll.
I'm going to pull one of these out. Give me 2 seconds to cut this first, thank you.
OK.
Put your hands on that, like that, OK?
Cherry filly.
Yes. The arrow is left for the party.
Yes, that's
the
right.
arrow is
I
right
know
for the party.
about that arrow. Oh, my God, I just want to kill you now.
Never argue with a man with power tools. I've got to go off and get tables and chairs, which shows me how far behind I am, because it means, yeah, once furniture starts to arrive, it's happening, isn't it? You know, it's not a case of, uh-oh, I can get away with this. Bye.
Ciao.
Today's Phil and Angelina's own first wedding anniversary, but there's no time to celebrate. If today doesn't go well, they may have to give up their dream of a chateau life.
It's at the back of your mind, you're like, if I don't do it now and get it right, should we carry on this sort of thing, or shouldn't we? These are the tables and chairs. They won't be enough to seat everybody, but not everyone will eat at the same time. It's quite an informal affair they want in the evening. Never ending. I hope they appreciate it come the end of it. Typical. It's not glamorous, this, sometimes. It's just hard graft. We're doing it on a shoestring budget to try to start a business to see if it works on as little as possible. So we're doing 10 people's jobs.
Seating sorted, that's one more job done. But Phil's got plenty more on his plate.
We get it 75% right, we can carry on with this business. If we make a mess of this today, you're not cut out for that certain thing. And do you know what? Now I've thought about that, I can feel the pressure.
It's proving to be one of the hottest days of the year. Perfect for the party, less so for Angelina.
Because of the scale of the place, it's impossible. You end up like running 1,000 metres one way, then 1,000 another, and you're just exhausted, really. Well, I am now. I'm sweaty. Look at me, sweaty Betty.
There's now just 2 hours until the clients are due to arrive. And Phil seems to have forgotten his most pressing job of all.
toilets need to be cleared off.
Yeah.
It's about, what, 11?
I still haven't quite finished the toilets.
Unbelievably, after 8 weeks to prepare for this event, Phil still hasn't sorted out the abomination that is the guests' toilet. Just over 100 miles southeast, Alan, one of the volunteers at Chateau Beo, is helping Michael and Jonathan put up the newly acquired artwork in the banquet hall.
The first part is all about measuring it out and getting it levels. So then, hopefully by the end of the day, we should have all of those up. Knowing Jonathan, everything's going to be spot on, perfect, measured to within a millimetre. So I reckon the biggest challenge will be getting Jonathan happy.
Michael knows his partner well, because 1 hour later...
How's it going, Al? Oh, blimey. Well, Alan's let me down a little bit because he's not centred this picture. And I've got a good 8 inches on one side and a good 3 inches on the other. Shall I just mark the rest of your work while I'm here? And what did you have in mind here, Alan, just for my amusement?
After a bit more tweaking, Jonathan is happy. But will Michael be?
25. Michael will not. He'll just come in and grunt at it and say, it seems a lot of money to pay for a poster. What are you laughing for?
It's done, isn't it? Wow, they look good.
Why are we laughing?
There's a lot of nudity, isn't there?
Is that all you were laughing at? Yeah. I can cope with if it's just the nudity.
Yeah, they're cool. They're brilliant. They're big. But these are brilliant. These are good. And who's she?
She's Madame Pompadour.
And why is Madame Pompadour famous? I know the name.
She was the mistress of Louis the...
Yeah, you've done all right. No, yeah, she's brilliant. I like him. I like him a lot.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
I'm happy. He's happy. No row, which I thought was coming.
They're both happy. The question is, will the investors be when they arrive in just 2 days' time? The 13-bedroom Chateau de Magillier. Parts of it date back to 1174. It has medieval dungeons, a chapel, and a 14-bedroom coach house, now run as a holiday home. It's all owned, run, and being restored by single mum Fiona Jones.
Oh, it was the best thing I did. Wouldn't want to live anywhere else.
Slap bang in the heart of France, she and her son live here in the upstairs floor while slowly renovating the rest of the chateau, with the goal of eventually running the restored area as B&B alongside the holiday home.
If only you had thumbs, you could help me.
This year she's focused on the first floor, and this dining room is the last room to do.
I've not found that one room here has just been simple.
In 1 week, she's throwing a party for the mayor and local community in an attempt to start promoting the B&B.
The pressure's on now. It's a big job, this room to complete.
She's plastered the room and primed it ready for decorating. Today's jobs are wallpapering and filling in the problematic gaps between the ceiling beams.
We're having a lot of problems with bats, mice. What's actually happening is the bats are getting in through all of the tiny little gaps in between the beams here. My idea, I'm going to attempt, I think this will work, to spray foam all the way through there, and then I'm going to varnish it so it's at least sealed. And it'll take a damn good mouse to chew through all of that. Right, it goes. Grab a tea. Stay.
That doesn't look like it's really filling the hole to me.
What I'll do is I'll let the bigger areas just dry, and then I'll put some more foam in afterwards and just build it up in another layer, and that'll be fine. What a mess. Not used this product before. It's a lot softer. It shouldn't be dripping not to this excess. It's a real mess.
Fiona's going to have to come up with another plan if she wants to finish this job in the time she's got. 170 miles northwest, Chateau Beo shareholders are coming today to see how their investment is doing. Their visit ends with an annual general meeting, or AGM. The way the business has been going is likely to be a tough one. But Jonathan and Michael have a couple of treats up their sleeves.
Hello, have you had a good morning?
One of them is goats.
What have you been doing? Could you eat a little bit more for me, please? Because they say that you won't eat enough.
They hope the investors will like the clever idea to have the grass trimmed for almost no cost.
Look at that. Somebody's been chucking the bloomin' breakfast out there for the goats. I didn't think that... You shouldn't be feeding goats pizzas, should you?
The other treat is the new paintings in the banquet hall.
It's definitely going to be a talking point, I reckon.
They'll show the investors the paintings tomorrow. Tonight, they'll wine and dine them. They've started to arrive earlier than expected.
The meal starts at half.
Yeah, it starts at 7.
7, so I've got to get drinks ready as well.
OK.
So I'm going to get changed.
All right, meet you back here in 10. Done. We've now got 3 investors all arriving at the same time, and we've got to get the drinks ready for dinner tonight. They were supposed to be staggered, but it'll just turn into a complete mess. It's never ending. Oui, hello, Chateau Beo.
It's not the best start. I hope tomorrow goes better. 100 miles northwest at Chateau Beo, it's the day of the 50th wedding anniversary party that Phil and Angelina Bailey-Smith have spent the last 2 months preparing for.
Loads of nails fell into that sink.
Don't care.
Today's party is a test. If it goes well, they may stay in France. If it goes badly, they may pack up and give up their dream of running a chateau business.
This is the life that I'm really happy with currently living and can't wait to continue, so I'd be heartbroken if it ended.
The guests of honour are due to arrive in 2 hours, but Phil hasn't finished fixing the toilets he promised would be ready.
Well, this particular toilet is almost finished. Once this is in, the toilet's 2 screws in 1 pipe connector, and then it's done. I think I might have to cement the pipe to fill it up.
As Phil tests his speed plumbing skills, Angelina's putting the finishing touches to the party signs.
I'll just copy the style. I quite like it. God, all these swirly things. That's a good arrow. That's a good size arrow. I mean, you know, you can't miss going in the wrong direction. One of the other things that I wanted to do, I actually like cake decorating type of stencils. Kind of like fleur-de-lis. Lovely. A bit of little swirly action there. If you turn right instead of left, you're gonna miss the party.
Phil's attempting to get at least one of the toilets up and running.
How do I do this?
But unfortunately, there's a new problem.
The actual water feed to the toilet has now decided it doesn't want to play ball and is dripping. This is an absolute nightmare.
Phil promised his clients 2 working toilets to accommodate their 60 guests. But he's struggling to provide 1. And even worse, golden anniversary couple Chris and Anne are nearly here.
It just seems 5 minutes ago that I met you and we got married.
A lot of people who are coming today, I don't think have been to a chateau.
We've got some flying in from England and we've got some Dutch. They've driven over 800 miles to get here, so that's going to be a special moment.
We've put our trust in them to make sure that they're going to make this a special day for us as well, as has been promised. When we first saw it, there was a tremendous amount of work that had to be done. Well, here we are.
OK.
With Phil caught short and Angelina nowhere to be seen, there's no one to welcome Chris and Anne.
Gosh, I've forgotten how big the place was.
Yeah, I have. I don't know where they are. Heavens. What a lovely way to spend 50 years of marriage.
Will they be happy with Phil and Angelina's preparations for their big day? At Chateau Beo, the investors have been arriving through the night. And by this morning, they're all here.
Hello, how are you? Come on in.
The key part of the visit is the annual general meeting.
Probably the most important date in the diary this year.
And because the business has been struggling, Michael and Jonathan are worried.
They could say that they're not satisfied with the progress, and it's not an idle threat. They could say, sorry guys, you've given it your best shot, but now we need somebody who knows what they're doing.
So they're hoping to impress the investors with their new paintings for the Chateau's banquet hall.
Thanks for joining the tour. What I'd really like you to see is what we've done in the main gallery. Let's go through and see what you think. The idea has been to take the old traditional oil painting artworks of some of the French masters, but to display them in a contemporary manner.
It's a huge improvement. I think it's warmed up the room, and I love it.
That'll be random.
It's not my favourite.
Well, I'm particularly bothered by this one, I must say, because it is a violent painting, and this is a room that's going to be used for weddings, for happy occasions.
It wasn't quite the vote of confidence Jonathan had been hoping for.
I suppose I'm disappointed that people were more opinionated than they needed to have been. It was the most momentous thing that we've done, cost us the most money.
And there's more to worry about. The Investors Board has called a pre-meeting to discuss the agenda for the AGM.
Thank you very much for coming. I'll start off with item number 1.
And they aren't happy about the goats or the fence to keep them in around the chateau.
I think a lot of people have the same view of that we're putting up a farm fence and farm animals on the chateau. I'd be seriously concerned that's going to detract from the quality of people want to see of a chateau.
As with anything that we buy or sort out, there's normally 2 or 3 weeks of us getting it right. So a point taken on board. We'll talk to the sheep people today, and we'll see what improvements or modifications that we can make.
3 brides I've spoken to about it now about
They're
it.
fine with sheep, aren't they? And goats?
Goats in the moat, yeah.
I think enough people sort of viewed the fence and said, what is that?
Said all along that I had my reservations about it. I said, I'm going to try it. And I've said specifically to the guys putting it in, if I don't like it, it's all coming out.
So thank you very much for attending, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the AGM. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Thank you.
The board aren't keen on the goats, but what they really don't like is the fence. Michael and Jonathan will need to think what to do about it before the AGM tomorrow.
I was amazed how anti people were. I wasn't expecting quite the backlash, so the sheep might have to go if they're voted down tomorrow.
At Chateau de Mazilier, owner Fiona Jones is slowly renovating parts into a bed and breakfast. She's just worked out she's been using the wrong foam filler to plug the gaps in the ceiling beams of the dining room, and has now bought a type better suited to the task.
Right, let's hope this works. Look at that, fabulous.
Fiona needs to get a move on. This whole room needs to be ready for the unveiling party for the mayor in just 1 week's time.
Just going to leave that for a little while, and then I'm going to cut it all out so that you don't even know that there's foam there. I've got some insulation foam, which I'm going to pack the bigger holes out with initially, and then I'm going to spray foam that.
Fiona will wait for that to dry. Then she'll be able to trim and neaten it up and wood stain it to match the beams.
Even if it looks like a mess right now, it'll be fine.
In the meantime, she's got the wallpapering to crack on with.
I haven't used this wallpaper before, but I've got it from England. I was just looking for something that was sage green with a gold effect.
She's cutting it fine. She needs to collect her little boy Louis from school in just an hour's time.
See, that is completely out, OK. That is completely out. I knew it would be. Of course it is.
The problem with all old chateaux is that the walls, ceilings and floors are never at right angles, so hanging wallpaper becomes a real test of patience.
It's just important to get the first piece straight.
If just one strip of paper is pasted at the wrong angle, all others lined up against it will be wonky too.
Right, so that's perfect. Look at that. Straight on the bubble. It's perfect.
She's got the line up right, but the heat on this scorching summer's day is causing her other problems.
It's 32 degrees today. The edges are not, they're drying out too quickly and curling. I have to go and get Louis as well. This is the problem. I'm rushing, thinking about Louis. I can't do it. I don't know why the edges are drying so quickly. I've never had this happen.
She's only hung 2 strips, but she's run out of time and has to go and collect Louis. She hasn't finished either the foam filler or the papering she needed to take off today. With the big party looming, will she be able to finish the room in time? Meanwhile, back at Chateau Beo, golden anniversary couple Chris and Anne have arrived and their party is due to start in less than an hour.
I don't know where they are. Should we go towards the terrace or...?
But Phil and Angelina are still rushing to get the chateau ready.
I hope everyone can see this. This parking sign represents that there's a very long drive ahead, and then you gotta do a sharp right. It's self-explanatory. We are not doing great for time.
Hello.
This
I've seen you for ages.
This looks lovely.
Thank you.
Hello, my darling.
Oh, you look gorgeous. Oh, and smell amazing. I'm sorry, I'm
it's all right.
in my work mode.
It's okay. You've been working, haven't you?
We have many surprises for you.
One surprise they may not like is Phil still struggling to plumb in the toilets for their 60 guests.
I think I might have to get Angelina to stall them slightly. I need gloves. This is way too hot. I need my gloves. They're here. We're trying to shepherd them in one direction away from certain rooms and others. So we're currently playing a tag team of making sure they're all right and don't need to go anywhere.
Angelina's hoping to buy a few more precious minutes by showing Chris and Anne the bedroom she's renovated for them.
Ta-da!
Oh, it looks beautiful.
Look at this.
And the butterflies are amazing.
It's a lovely cold room. I've made you lovely bath bombs if you wish to take the bath before the party starts.
That's lovely.
Oh, it's lovely, Anne. Couple of questions. Don't intend to spend a great deal of time in the room.
Yes.
And I mean, we've not seen around the rest of the house.
With Chris keen to start inspecting, finally there's a very welcome, if slightly weird sound in the guest toilet.
Makes a bit of a noise. We'll certainly know if they get stuck in there. You can press it a few times to more signals, can't they?
Well, Phil's got one of the toilets up and running. Angelina surreptitiously ushers Chris and Anne past and outside to the main event.
Straight through, please.
Will they be satisfied with the party venue?
Phil, shall we go through the different areas?
We've got the area for those that want to have a fire out the way.
On the other land over the bridge.
Yeah, we haven't got the smoke coming across here.
Look at your bridge, it looks amazing.
Yeah. We've laid out a decent amount of seating. The outdoor bar.
Oh, that's amazing. Really beautiful.
Yeah.
Lovely.
They seem happy, so Phil decides to confess.
I've got one last thing. I managed to get one of the downstairs toilets finished to completion. The other one, there is issues with the pipe work.
You can only use one at a time?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Well, that went better than I thought.
What I'll do is I'll leave you go and greet some guests while I get changed.
Yeah.
You go and have a shower first. I'll deal with gates and what have you.
Fantastic.
Well, they've pulled it off.
Yeah. They've done wonders, absolutely. perfect place for a wedding.
What they managed to achieve, just totally delightful. I can't sum it up any better than that.
With the guests starting to arrive, and after 8 weeks of hard graft, it's party time at Chateau Beo.
To Chris and Anne, 50 years. It's great. We've done that out of literally blood, sweat and tears. I'm seeing it come to reality, and I can see other people right now really enjoying what I envisaged, so that actually other people are as wowed at it as I would hope they would be. Maybe my crazy dream is maybe not as crazy as it sounds in the first place.
We've done really well.
And
Yes.
on our wedding anniversary.
Yeah, that's true. Love you.
Me too.
At Chateau de Gélène, the board of investors aren't happy with the fence surrounding the chateau.
Ce matin, tout le monde dit, mais c'est un château, ce n'est pas un ferme. Qu'est-ce qu'ils pensent? Oh là là.
Jonathan admits they may have a point.
I realise that the imposing nature of our driveway here has been completely compromised by the fact that these posts are right on the edge. So what was a lovely tree-lined avenue has now got this sheep enclosure impinging on it. Beaucoup de clients arrêtent les voitures ici pour prendre les photos de cette vue. It's our calling card, that very first thing that they see. And if it's a load of rough wooden stakes in the ground, that's not going to do us many favours. Ici est la possibilité de plonger, oui. Reculer les poteaux. Oui, exact.
By moving it down the slope of the moat, the fence shouldn't be so prominent.
Tu fais la clôture maintenant et après.
Merci bien.
Okay. Plan so far is that they're going to finish off doing the fencing tonight, come and put the last bits of that in, and the sheep will arrive tomorrow.
There are 6 sheep arriving in addition to these goats, but the board has agreed to defer deciding their fate until the annual general meeting. And there's another problem.
Vraiment, tous vos gens vont être infectés de l'odeur.
Ah oui?
Ah oui, ah oui, oui.
They've just said another problem we've got is that we put a male and a female. They never put male goats with customers because male goats smell quite strong.
These men can smell goats?
Yeah, they can tell the difference between a male and a female smell.
But I can't smell anything.
Now they've mentioned it, I can smell.
That's ridiculous.
They can smell male goat.
So what do they say? We should have all females?
Have all female.
Well, we need to get on top of it, don't we? Get on top of the goats.
Let's just see how it goes.
Come on.
Where am I going? Where am I going now?
What? Work.
There's no more time for goat talk. They need to prepare the financial report for the AGM.
We should make an operating profit of around 9,000 this year.
What's left over here?
5,000, and we'd get half of that.
2,500 euros between two of us. That's 1,250 euros each.
3 years.
For 3 years'
work.
As they go through the books, they start to wonder if it's all worthwhile or whether they should give up of their own accord.
When do we start to earn? No quality of life, working 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. Are you game to give it a go for another year? Are you happy to do it?
In the heart of France, Fiona spent 5 years renovating her chateau in the hope of one day running it as a B&B. For the last week, she's been trying to renovate her dining room in time for an unveiling to the local mayor. And she's made it.
It does give you a nice sense of achievement that you've not just gone into a room and just decorated it. It's really had to be gutted and the whole room's had to be reinstated to put it back to its originality as best as I'm able to.
Finally, the man who she hopes will bless her business venture, the mayor, Michel Navarre, arrives.
I'm going to take him inside now, just let him have a look. I just kind of finished wallpapering yesterday. This is literally the last room on the ground floor that is complete.
What does he think?
Parce que je voulais voir comment aujourd'hui il était. C'est vrai, quand on passe à l'extérieur, on ne se rend pas compte.
Yes, he insisted to have it visited with you because he was very curious to see how it had become, and he's so happy. Yes, it's a very nice surprise.
Okay,
right. And I think he thinks a lot of people will be very pleased to visit it one day.
It's the official seal of approval. But there's one thing bothering the mayor.
Une petite réclamation, c'est que vous appreniez le français.
He would be pleased with you learn the French language.
Yes. But tell him.
I can help you.
No, but tell him I'm so busy working, I don't get out to have a good time and talk with French.
It's been a great day for Fiona. And what's more, the mayor seems enthusiastic about her plans for a B&B.
He's full of excitement and ideas for the chambre d'eau. Gives you more motivation to just continue.
So what's next for this one-woman renovation army?
All of the windows need to be painted and the panes of glass need to be replaced and any of the woodwork can be repaired. And then I'll be finishing off the large servant staircase and, yeah, after that, start hitting the bedrooms on the first floor. Get the business up and running.
I wish you all the best, Fiona, and with your energy, I'm sure you'll manage. At Chateau Beo, Phil and Angelina's first ever paid event is in full swing.
It's just wonderful. I think it can be a real business for them. I know that Angelina, she's just really passionate about that.
I've had a fabulous time, absolutely brilliant. A chateau is meant to be alive, and that's exactly what it is tonight. It is alive.
With the party and Chateau earning rave reviews, Phil and Angelina can finally turn their attention to a celebration of their own.
Everyone's having a great time. That's only a good sign, isn't it?
Yeah.
Woo! Early start. Let's celebrate.
Hey, we've done everything we possibly can.
Yeah. Everything we promised, which is great. Thank you very much.
First party, first event.
Yeah.
It's the first of so many, and I was coming close to pulling the plug, but you know what? I see the future. Nothing more we can do tonight.
No.
It's a great party.
We pulled it off.
We pulled it off. Well done.
May there be many more.
First of many.
I look forward to some sleep. Sleep 24 hours.
At Chateau de Gelin in the Loire Valley, it's almost time for the AGM. And Jonathan and Michael could find themselves out of a job if the investors aren't happy with the way the business is going.
The worst that could happen in the meeting is a motion of no confidence because we've not achieved the targets that we said we would. I'm nervous about it. This is a very vocal group and they will all want to make their point.
And even if they aren't pushed, they're considering leaving anyway.
I hate criticism. I've just got to bite my tongue and I mustn't bite back. Preparation is the key. If it all looks great when they walk in, you've got half the battle won because they think, oh, this is going to be a professional do.
Jonathan and Michael know the biggest discussion today will be about the fence and animals.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the annual general meeting of the Salle Chateau de Gelin. It's come to my attention that we might have a contentious issue to discuss.
This part of the meeting will take place behind closed doors.
We have an issue about the arrival of the sheep.
If you're going to bring the sheep in, why do we have such great big posts there?
You see these poles stuck along a road like a farm fence. It's totally distracted from the whole chateau.
If there are things which come to light, like it doesn't rain for 3 weeks and the place stinks, right? You might do something about it.
Exactly, of course. Overall, it's an experiment, and if it's proved to be wrong, it will disappear.
The investors decide to keep the issue under review. And if it doesn't work out, Jonathan and Michael will get rid of them.
I'd like to crack on as quickly as possible.
The meeting goes on, and other chateau businesses discussed.
There was some effort to generate wedding event business from the States. Whatever happened to that?
You see, you concentrate on weddings during the week, isn't it?
You're right.
And you want bums on seats during the week as well, don't you?
Yep.
After 3 hours, it's finally over.
All that remains is to say thank you very much for taking the time to listen to what the board had to present to you and for all the suggestions that you've made, be they difficult or easy.
So how do Michael and Jonathan feel?
There was some discussion about the sheep, and as far as I can make out, there's only one person who was a fan of a sheep. The rest of them said it was the worst decision that could possibly have been made. What were we thinking of? Why didn't we get anybody's permission? Why didn't we do this? Why didn't we do that? And I think there wasn't a single person in the room that didn't have a go for an hour about how much the sheep have got to go. There was very little trust in our abilities to...
I don't care about the sheep. I care about that we were supposed to have a mandate to be the managers here. I didn't come out of that meeting with a mandate to be managers and to be take the right decisions.
It seems the goats and sheep are just some of the many issues for Michael and Jonathan.
I feel as if I've got the weight of the world on my shoulders and I could do without it, really. I've got so much going on. You know, it's very, very difficult to keep it all together.
So they're not making any rash decisions on their future now. They're committed to the upcoming summer wedding.
It's time to start worrying about other things. We've now got worrying about our next event.
They'll decide if they're going to stay at Chateau de Jolene after that.
This Chateau lark is not all plain sailing.
100 miles northwest, and it's the morning after the big event for Philip and Angelina. And it wasn't all plain sailing.
Yesterday I caught you and you had your head in your hand. Why? Were you having a little post meltdown?
Oh yeah, yesterday,
Cry
of
moment.
course, yeah. I hid.
He was like this. Oh, best go and check on him.
I did it in the middle of the afternoon. I just ran to the back of the garden when no one could see me.
That's why it's a hidden section.
Where everyone else is working away doing stuff, and I just hid when no one could see me, and just had my head in my hands going, why we're not going to manage this, please.
Running a shadow can do that to some people.
You do have really, really down moments. That's when I have a cry and a moan, and, you know, life gives you lemons. You make...
Lemonade.
No. You make GNT.
So, decision time. Will they carry on with the chateau life?
I couldn't have hoped for more out of it. The reaction to everybody yesterday was just... It was the reassurance I think I needed to carry on. So we'll keep the place on for as long as we can. Now we're looking forward and there's no stopping. I hope.
Good luck, Phil and Angelina. With a lot of hard work, you two can make it. Next time, on the day of the wedding, Michael and Jonathan struggle with one problem.
The lift has jammed itself on the ground floor.
After another.
They don't think they've got any more parts like it because it's so old.
After another.
I found the pipe that's leaking. It's got a split in it. It looks like it is the mains pipe.
When two new parents face a mammoth task, trying to get their chateau ready for the holiday season,
I don't know if we can get everything done in time.
they call in support.
I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning. I didn't realise I was going to be moving paving slab all day.
Or at least they thought they had.
You don't actually know if he's ever really done a full day's work in his life before.
And major pull and wall problems.
Oh my God, that is really not good.
Threaten to scupper a chateau's summer opening.
This wall fell down. We need to put it up before the guests come.
I'm Dick Strobridge, and along with my wife Angel and our 2 children, we left the UK for a whole new life in France and bought this magnificent chateau.
We haven't ever regretted what we've done. It is so worth it.
We've gradually been making it into our home, as well as running it as a business.
That's a long way up.
But it turns out we're not alone, as dozens of Brits are doing exactly the same thing.
Sometimes you have to pinch yourself to think, I own that.
In this series, Angel and I will reveal more about our journey as chateau owners.
Quite a lot of scrap here, it's worth money. Might be able to pay you this time.
And guide these daring Brits where we can.
It's a solid old bridge, matey.
As they renovate.
This is looking good, I'm quite happy with this.
Repair.
I've never done this before, so it should be all right.
And struggle to transform these buildings into their homes and businesses.
Go, 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 go. Absolutely magnificent.
This is the glamorous chateau life that everyone thinks I need. Just trying to avoid getting my face near the toilets.
This is not the way to make money.
But however hard the going gets, these plucky Brits can always say they're kings and queens of their very own castles.
Cheers. Chin chin.
Today.
It's where you need someone like Dick Strawbridge. I mean, he'd understand something like this.
One couple's expansion plans are under threat from hundreds of bees.
Look at that. They're swarming.
And some tractor trouble.
Can't believe I've just done this. And it's an incredibly stupid thing to do.
There's design disagreement at this very ambitious renovation project.
Can you do it with a glass roof?
Absolutely, yes, we will do that, definitely.
I'm actually being serious.
And at our beautiful chateau, my mind's on food.
You put cheese in here, you know, all sorts of salamis and meats and things can go in here.
Building a food smoker.
This is the subtle way of lighting.
Meet Essex-born Tim and his Dutch wife Margaret. They own and run this imposing-looking building, Chateau Beo. Built in the mid-19th century, it was once a boys' school. The couple are now into their 4th year, running it as a B&B.
I see this place as being a bit like a cross between sort of the Addams Family and 40 Towers, you know. I mean, it's kind of lovely. On the other hand, you can look at it, it's kind of forbidding.
Before giving up everything for their new life in France, Tim was the bassist in a successful band, and Margaret was a teacher.
It's so great to do something totally new and out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And in Holland, our lives were very, very separate. He always worked weekends, evenings, holidays, and yeah, we really like being together still.
It's amazing. We're very lucky.
Situated in northern France, in the Picardy region, it's a big place. 64 rooms, 5 of them used for bed and breakfast, and 2 holiday cottages in the 14-acre grounds.
I love this place, I think it's great. When we arrived, it was basically one enormous bat's nest, actually, I have to say.
It's the start of the summer season, and they're busy entertaining guests.
This is our veranda. This is where our guests normally have the breakfast, and we use this lot as well.
Arguably the nicest place in the chateau to sit and just look out the window, and for the price of less than a house in London, you can get all this with all the land and everything.
They're reluctant to reveal exactly how much they paid for it, but I reckon they got a bargain.
It's wow.
Yeah.
Still wow. Of course, it costs a lot of money to live in a place like this.
I think it works out about somewhere between 5,000 and 6,000 a month to run this place.
It's actually a bit more than that.
Yes.
It's actually nearly 8,000. We don't really make money here yet.
At the moment, they barely break even. But this year, Tim and Margaret are determined to make a profit. So they've come up with a bold idea, running a caravan park.
Last weekend, if we'd have had these things in place, we would have earned another 1,000 euros for that week. That's, you know, we had so much demand.
They have their first caravan booking for later in the summer, but the park doesn't exist yet. Their only caravan is a complete mess, and it's parked in the wrong field. So first up, Tim needs to tow it into place with this tiny tractor. Good luck, mate.
The battery's not working, so So I've had to replace it with another one, except that the size of batteries in this particular area do not correspond with the size of the hole in the engine. I found a battery which fits to within about 25 millimetres, so I'm going to have to saw off the last 25 millimetres.
Not a good idea. Do not try this at home.
That's an incredibly stupid thing to do. I can't believe I've just done this.
Nor can I. It's now dangerous and it's leaking sulfuric acid. This battery needs to be recycled. But Tim got a sealant gun and he's got other ideas.
It normally hardens off pretty quickly, actually, so it actually might have worked. Except that it didn't.
Take two.
It's still leaking, you know.
I'll be gobsmacked if this ever works.
It hasn't worked.
No surprises there. I'm beginning to learn Tim's not the type to give up. Incredibly, he's decided to place the battery on its side.
I don't see a reason why it shouldn't work.
It may function, but it will leak and give off dangerous gases.
Well, I tell you what, it fits a lot better like that. If I'd have put it like that originally, wouldn't need to saw anything off.
Definitely do not try this at home. Ah, a trusty universal engine starter. Ah, the sweet sound of stalling. Sounds like you've run out of diesel. Like Tim, there's nothing I like more than tinkering around an old engine, or even better, building my own invention. Luckily for me, I've got a chateau full of treasures left behind by the previous owners.
Look in there. That barrel is in amazing condition.
I've got a plan for one of these old barrels. If there's one thing I love as much as engineering, it's food. I've been building my own food smokers as a hobby for years. It's about time I made my first one for the chateau.
I think I built my first smoker probably 30 years ago out of an oil drum. All you have to do is put a smoke box outside it, put some smoke into it, and you get smoked food.
Now I just need a stove for the fire. It's another treasure hunt.
I just love the fact that every time you come to the attic, you find something. That's almost too pretty. I'll use that probably as a stove as opposed to a smoker.
And this little burner should be perfect. I reckon it's from the 20s or 30s and looks pretty much purpose-built.
It looks like it's meant to be smoking food, and this is so ridiculous. Oh no, hold on. Ha 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 ha! It's better than that. It opens and shuts to regulate the amount of smoke. Thought I was gonna have to build something to do that. Way to go! I've done lots of different types of smokers. This is a cold smoker. I have a lovely oak barrel and I'm going to cut it up.
Wooden barrels, oil drums, even a filing cabinet can all be turned into cold smokers. And there's very little heat involved. Most materials will work, including sturdy cardboard.
Beside that, I've got my little stove and there's a pipe going between the two. In the little stove, the little firebox, the smoke in there is warm. But by the time it's moved down the pipe and into my barrel, it'll be cool.
It's simple. Create an opening at one end of the smoker, fit a suitable pipe, and connect to some kind of a stove holding your fire.
Fills this, everything in there gets smoked, and all my excess smoke goes out the top. You can put cheese in here, you know, all sorts of salamis and meats and things can go in here, and they will get smoke flavour in them without them cooking.
I fancy some French cheese as the first food into the Strawbridge smoker. Just half a mile down the road, there's a fromagerie who specialises in beautiful soft cheeses. Perfect.
Peut-être nous fumer notre fromage aussi.
No. I think they understood what's going on. Ça, c'est bon. Oh, vous savez la plus grande. I was thinking what we could do is keep one to the side as a control, smoke two.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
God, we're going to be so full of cheese. Au revoir. Bye-bye. Thank you.
One of the delights of smoking is experimenting with different types of wood, which will all add flavour. I reckon the shavings from the Chateau apple trees will be lovely.
This is the subtle way of lighting. Darling, it will be 6 hours of gentle smoking, followed by 24 hours of waiting, followed by cheese.
After a frankly agonising wait, it's the moment of truth.
Oh,
oh man. Yummy, yummy. That works, baby.
Delicious. Just as I knew it would be.
When you sit down at a table that's got your food on it, and you think to yourself, life's good.
It's beautiful.
Angel and I have spent almost 3 years doing up our French chateau, and we're nowhere near finished. But that's the commitment you take on with these magnificent buildings. This is Chateau de Humières, a crumbling 18th century castle, home to designer Nicole and her architect boyfriend Stefan.
He's very skilled at doing the construction and pulling the building pack together. My thing isn't that, it's more the aesthetic side of things.
I'm into old buildings. I love old buildings. I love the old stone. I love this region.
You're lucky. Hectic, but lucky.
Every day gives us some new challenges that are going dramatically wrong sometimes. But it's an adventure.
That's what's fun.
Nicole from London has been helping Belgian Stefan restore this 12-acre pile since they met 3 years ago.
I think the castle has about... How many rooms would it have?
No idea. I don't think I've ever counted.
No.
Situated in the Pas-de-Calais region of northern France, Stefan originally bought this place with his parents, but since they passed away, he and Nicole have been turning it into their home. But they desperately need to bring in some cash, so they've hit on a plan to renovate the chateau's crumbling main hall and open it as a tea room.
We're just doing a preliminary kind of clean. It's got years of grime on the walls and in the corners by the window.
In a sense, it needs to stop draining money.
Yeah.
It needs to be not generating money, but at least to be self-financing.
We plan to have the tea room open towards sometime in August. Now we're mid-May. It's like no time at all.
Just 3 months to gut this wreck, create a new kitchen and turn it into a tea room. I reckon that makes them supremely confident or a little deluded.
So let's have a look underneath here and see what's happening there.
This morning they're working on what will be the tea room's main entrance. Stefan wants to get rid of the ugly flagstone paving outside and is keen to see if there are any original features beneath.
It's huge.
Do you think it's bigger than the other one?
It's a gigantic stone.
Too big. I think it's concrete.
Oh, really?
My goodness.
That's concrete.
All their digging has revealed is plain concrete. Not quite the period feature they were hoping for.
Oh, what a disappointment.
Never fear, designer Nicole is bound to find a way of turning boring concrete into something beautiful.
We're going to pull up 1.20 m either side of the step and then hopefully create some kind of sweep in.
It's turning into a major excavation, but after an hour's hard graft, Nicole's plan is already taking shape.
That is absolutely the entrance.
And there's a surprise for Stefan.
Cobblestone. This is a cobblestone. Look, Nicole, they're gigantic.
Just so beautiful.
See, I had a good idea.
What a result. Past the edge of the concrete, Stefan stumbled upon the chateau's original 18th century cobblestones. They could clean up and be a perfect entrance for the tea room.
Never thought we were going to find such beautiful stones under here. They're from the first part of the castle, so from the first build of the castle. Should be 1780s.
But now Stefan's left with a couple of tons of rubble and no easy way to move it. Although he thinks he may have the answer.
So this monster has been standing here, I think, for about 10 years.
What a magnificent beast! But he's going to need a lot of luck if he wants to get it started. Renovating a chateau is all about being resourceful and making the best of what you've got. Back in our place in northwest France, Angel's a bit of an expert when it comes to seeing the potential in almost anything.
This colour is quite fashionable, isn't it? But I just don't like it. Paint stripper.
Angel wants to strip away the hideous green, yet still maintain the door's original character. The process is simple enough, but we easily have 100 doors in this place. Pretty much all in need of some kind of attention.
So we're going to do this bit first, and then when I sort of get to about here, I'll put some on this. So it'll be a bit of a rolling effect, and I'll go down the door.
This one door will most likely take Angel 2 hours to bring it to life.
Dick had to strip some of these doors at the start, because we had lead paint, basically. Once we started stripping them, it was just a revelation. They look really good, and it was kind of cheap.
A good wooden door can easily cost £100 new. Multiply that by the number we've got, and you're looking at thousands of pounds. My pockets aren't that deep.
We can't afford to replace everything. It's just crazy. Love keeping the character of the house. This is what I'm here to do. This is my calling in life. To look after old things. I love Dick. There's so many different parts to the door. Just finding what bits works for each. You don't scratch the door.
Deep scratches might mean the wood needs sanding down, or in bad cases, a squeeze of wood filler. Extra work you don't need, so it's worth taking care.
I mean, just look how beautiful these doors are underneath. Why did they paint them green? I don't know. And the problem is I'm always under, like, the time schedule. The kids are coming home soon.
That's the problem with jobs in the chateau. Sometimes everyday life takes over. It was weeks later before the door could finally be hung, but it was worth it.
I was very, very surprised of how well it turned out. Even more surprised when we put a matte varnish on to seal it. Kind of dulled down the tones a little bit, and I've actually got something that I really love.
So far, we've spent a relatively modest 3 years renovating our chateau. Check out this place that's a decade in and counting. For 1,000 years, overlooking the hills of Lautrec, has stood Chateau de Bramantour. The medieval fort is the ancestral home of the famous painter Henri de Toulouse-Lautrec.
Lovely view.
It's now owned by IT specialist Paul and his wife Allison, an HR consultant, who paid £650,000 for the chateau 10 years ago.
We had a list of things we were looking for, and top of the list was that there had to be a wow factor associated with it. This definitely had the wow factor. And also somewhere that had lots of materials that we could use for the restoration. That was old tiles, roofing tiles, floor tiles, old doors. We brought a friend to look at it, and she said, do you realise there's a fine line between a renovation opportunity and a ruin? And I think you're really looking at a ruin here.
They've worked for over a decade to breathe new life into this French relic and turn it into a B&B.
These windows were originally just plastic over the hole in the wall. We had a local craftsman make these reproduction antique windows. Certainly add to the chateau, make it feel authentic.
Located in the south of France in the Languedoc region, the local vineyards echo with the sound of ongoing renovation works. Paul is making an outdoor kitchen so that this summer's paying guests can have food and drink by the swimming pool. As with every job, he recycles the original material from the chateau.
So this is some old oak. In a number of the rooms, we took up the floorboards, but if you cut off the crumbly bits and the bits that have been eaten, it's really solid. Oak has a heart, and that becomes as hard as steel over time. So by trimming them up and reusing them, we can make a very rustic-looking kitchen, and we've kind of restored part of the heritage of the house.
Even though they do most of the renovations themselves, this place still costs an arm and a leg.
The budget is around 50,000 euros to run this place each year, which means that Paul and I are doing contract work. We just want to be here because it's a fabulous place.
This year, they're hoping to give up their contract work and run the chateau full-time by hosting more weddings, events that bring in more profit than the B&B and the small tea parties they hold.
We've got to really plan the next few months very carefully. We've got to make absolutely sure that the kitchen is operational, that we've got furniture and everything organised. What are you doing? You've got your...
I'm doing all of that. I don't know what you're doing.
But there's one job that Paul has avoided all winter. Their swimming pool is the centrepiece for the wedding events. It's been slowly losing water, and the decking has subsided, making it dangerous.
This decking settled down 6 inches, so we've got a small problem, but I think also that might be the cause of why the water's leaking, because there's a few pipes that come out here, and if the soil settled down, they could have snapped the pipes. So that could be the cause of the water leak. So I've got to dig up all the side of the pool. It's going to be really hard to repair.
They need it fixed before a big wedding in a month's time.
We're a little bit under pressure because the swimming pool's right in front of the château, which is French for marquee. It's all leaking away. Where is it going? We don't want the customers to disappear down the side of the hill as the water washes the clay area away.
Allison's off on a 3-week business trip to Australia and is expecting Paul to have it sorted by the time she gets back.
It's not a job I'm looking forward to be honest.
Some 550 miles north, back at Tim and Marguerite's chateau in Picardy, they're attempting to create a new caravan park to bring in much-needed revenue. Tim's trying to tow his caravan to its new home in the next field, but he's having tractor trouble. He spent hours trying to fit a new battery, but the problem is much simpler.
I have got a feeling that it's run out of petrol or diesel.
Yeah, numpty. I told you.
How are you doing? Perhaps you could just pull the caravan.
Might be quicker at this rate.
I'm hoping that this is the problem why the engine stopped.
Success. But very wisely, Tim's not keen on driving the tractor with acid pouring out of his battery.
What I'm going to do now is be very, very careful not to stall it.
Once it's been fired up, the alternator can keep the engine ticking over without a battery, but it's not great for the engine. All Tim's got to do now is hook up the caravan and tow it away. Good luck with that. I think that's what kids today call an epic fail.
I have to say, it's beaten me. This hasn't moved an inch. That's it. So, yeah, size matters.
It sure does. Lucky for Tim, his neighbour's willing to lend a hand with this beauty.
He's manoeuvred it into position, and I have to say, it's a brilliant bit of driving.
The caravan may now be in the right place, but it still needs a complete makeover.
It'll be spruced up, put some glass in the windows, change the top bit, change the bottom bit, stick a new chassis on it.
Just a bit of work then. Back at Nicole and Stefan's chateau in the Pas de Calais. They've a tight deadline to turn a grand but derelict hall into a high-end tea room and terrace, so the chateau can start paying for itself. But the exciting discovery of some 18th century cobblestones has thrown up several tons of heavy rubble. Stefan's putting his faith in this rusty old digger.
So this monster has been standing here, I think, for about 10 years. Let's see if we can start it up.
Good luck with that. First, Stefan checks the battery.
Why doesn't it want to start? Come on.
It looks like it's dead. A crude way of testing it is to short-circuit the battery. If the battery sparks, then there's some charge, but it's not recommended.
Ah.
Bingo! This antiquated French digger might actually start.
Utter madness.
Unbelievably, the engine seems to be ticking over fine. Now there's just a small matter of learning how to drive it. Meanwhile, upstairs, designer Nicole's in her element, examining some of the chateau's old wallpaper.
Wow, that is so satisfying. There's like 5 or 6 layers of wallpaper here.
She's looking for inspiration for the tea room decor.
Isn't that amazing? What amazing colours. I mean, it's so bright. Wow. Can't get over how stunning it is.
This could be the chateau's original wallpaper, dating back to 1780.
You know, it might be nice. Use it downstairs in the tea room.
Back down in the gardens, it's crunch time for Stefan. He's managed to get this old beast to the chateau, but can he make it lift?
What could happen now is that the hydraulic cables snap because of the weight.
Bingo! So, thanks to this amazing find, the rubble is soon swiftly moved.
So you see what you can find on the castle, eh? Wow.
Inside, Nicole's keen to share her wallpaper discovery and sell Stefan on her plan to bring it back to life in the tea room.
Oh my goodness. It's busy, yeah? It's very busy.
What we'll do is copy that
Yeah.
and have it made into a new wallpaper.
Okay.
We've just revealed those orange cobblestones.
Yeah, yeah, and it's
You
really
walk
very
in,
nice together,
it'd be
yeah.
brilliant.
Yeah, yeah, I see what you mean. Very special.
It's
yeah.
really nice, don't you think?
It's fantastic. It's a great discovery.
Back down in Languedoc in the south of France, Paul and Allison are desperate to give up their contract work and make a full-time living from their chateau by hosting more weddings. Before they can open their doors this summer, Paul needs to fix the leaking swimming pool and subsiding terrace pronto. With his wife in Australia, he's busy planning the repairs in his workshop.
This is the workshop, and it used to be the water tank for the chateau. And when the water mains were laid, we thought, wouldn't it be a great idea to turn this into a workshop?
Perfect for all the renovations and work around the chateau, like fixing the swimming pool. In previous summers, they've turned the pool area into a wedding venue with a marquee overlooking the valley. But in his man cave, Paul has another project he'd rather get on with.
We found this when we bought the chateau. It was hidden away in the basement, and it's a Solex, a very traditional French bicycle that they stuck a petrol engine on the top of. So this petrol engine's got a little rubber wheel, and it turns the front wheel, and you start the engine, and you push it forward, it connects to the front wheel. You zoom along, you can get a good 20 kilometres an hour out of it. So it'd be great if I can get that going. Yeah, perfect for popping into town and getting a baguette in the morning.
Not sure Allison will be happy to come home and find you spent your time fiddling with that bike. At the opposite end of the country, back at Tim and Marguerite's B&B in northern France, the summer season may already be underway, but they need to find ways to bring in more cash. The plan? A caravan park. But they have another idea too, starting a co-ownership scheme on their holiday sheets.
Basically, it's costing them 25,000 euros, which is a one-off payment, and that gives you, for 25 years, that gives you 5 weeks. So someone will have 5 weeks of the year, which is a sort of rotation, things that's a little bit like a timeshare, and you can do whatever you like with it. You can rent it out or whatever.
But there's a spanner in the works. They can't lease the gîtes unless they fix a problem, a bee colony in one of the chimneys.
It's where you need someone like Dick Strawbridge. I mean, he'd understand something like this.
Sadly, those bees have to go. Otherwise, no one will want to stay there.
They're in a chimney. It's in a family gîte, so there'll be people going in and out of it, and so I have to deal with this. It breaks my heart, but unfortunately, there's no way of getting rid of them without actually having to kill them. So on with the beekeeping outfit. I don't actually have a beekeeping outfit, so I'm going to improvise and make one.
In this case, using a tree surgeon's helmet, bin bags, and plenty of gaffer tape.
So what we're doing here is we're sealing up this bit here to stop the bees getting in. Make it as big as possible. So it gives me a bit of protection. Okay. How much does the beekeeping outfit cost? You got any idea? It's like 10 euros or something.
It's worth
pretty cheaper than a roll of gaffer tape. It's like, you know.
You can get one online for around 20 quid.
Okay, you've never looked better.
I never have.
Well done.
Ridiculous outfit, check. Equipment, check. Man walking towards certain death, let's hope not.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you. I don't feel very safe doing this, I have to admit. So...
Be careful, Tim. Sorry about that.
He normally comes down whole, so let's just trust that will happen again this time.
The little bees are very, very busy. The good thing about that is that I can see where they're going in and out, so they should be fairly easy to close.
Like his suit, Tim's plan is a bit slapdash. First, he tries to get the bees out with insect spray.
OK, here goes nothing. There they go. Look at that. They're swarming.
Next, he tries to block up all the gaps.
There are a lot more bees than I thought there were.
Be careful, Tim. Hold on.
Oh, there we go. There's a big hole there. So I'm just going to fill this hole up. There's probably a great big front door around the other side that I can't get to.
Unbelievably, it seems his ridiculous beekeeping suit is working.
The good news is they seem to be going for the foam rather than me.
We're glad when it's over. It's scary seeing him up there.
I mean, I've done the job because I can see that the bees can't get in or out. Oh, man, it's nice to get out of that.
Well done.
Thank you. Just have to wait and see what happens with the bees. And,
yeah, just give it a couple of days.
It's done. It's chateau life, isn't it?
Well done.
Getting rid of these bees is vital. Leasing out the gîtes means a cash injection of €25,000. But for now, Tim and Margaret have other things on their mind.
Lots of people coming in. It's a full chateau, and these are the last-minute preps before people turn up.
Preparing for the arrival of 30 guests tomorrow.
Panicking.
Back down in the Languedoc in the south of France, Paul's finally got around to trying to repair the swimming pool. It's a visual focus for their weddings, which are crucial to increase their profits.
Champers, no!
With the help of his friend Grant, he's hoping to find out why the pool is losing water and make the decking safe for guests.
So what we do, I think, Grant, is take the wooden flooring off, dig down, have a look, fix the repair, fill it up, check it's all working, and then job done.
OK.
If we get a push on, we'll be done today.
Optimistic.
Paul's wife, Allison, is away working.
And we sort of need to know which end is which.
Yeah, I'll write it all on the right-hand end.
And once it's sorted before she gets back.
We've got a real problem. We've really got to find out what's happened and why it's leaking. Otherwise, we could have a disaster like this when we've got customers here in the summer. The outer edge of reinforced concrete, that has also managed to sink down.
How deep are they?
Half a metre. Then we just have to carry on taking these things off, right?
It's taken the best part of 10 years to turn the terrace into a fantasy wedding venue. And just over 6 hours for Paul and Grant to turn it into a building site.
There's nothing you can't solve with a sledgehammer, eh?
Paul's convinced the leak is coming from a pipe that connects the pool to the pump. But that's buried under 18 inches of clay.
Get the dogs here, shouldn't we? They're good at helping digging. Don't see any obvious. I'll put the pool pump on, create more pressure in that circuit, and we could see if it's dripping out then.
It's possible that by increasing the pressure in the pump, water will be forced out of the leak, revealing where it is.
Well, what do you think? Is it leaking?
Not yet.
It's as dry as a bone.
But running the pump has revealed why the pool level has been falling. There isn't a leak after all.
Some equipment in the pool house was draining a bit of water out the pool when we didn't notice.
Now they can get on with fixing the dangerous subsiding decking. And Paul has a solution for that.
We have lots of wood that we've used in other projects. So we're using some oak and Douglas pine, wood that's not going to rot.
Still straight.
It's pretty good, isn't it? As good as new.
So that's the edging done. Just another 75 boards to put back. Back north in the Pas de Calais, at Nicole and Stefan's dream chateau, they're turning their attention to their crumbling tower. The only surviving, just about, feature of the 18th century fortifications. They aren't yet sure what they're going to do with it, but it urgently needs to be made safe.
See, that's actually the entire roof that collapsed on this floor. You see the rafters of the roof lying there, and all the bricks.
All that fallen debris, plus years of weeds, need to be cleared off the internal beams so Stefan can make the tower more stable. As they work down the tower, more problems crop up. Some of the wooden joists are rotten and need to be removed.
I'd like to keep this one intact, and as soon as possible replace the holes with new ones.
After 4 hours graft, Stefan's still got a lot to do just to make this thing safe. But designer Nicole is way ahead of him.
Yeah. Well, maybe we just make this like a little extra space. Maybe we have a rectangular table in here. So when are we going to aim to do this by? We have to do this by August as well, do we? We can have like a really lovely old chandelier hanging down there. Can you get electrics to here?
I am speechless.
Can you do it with a glass roof?
Yes.
So we can...
Yes, we will do that, definitely. It's done. Just come back in August, it'll be finished.
So I'm actually being serious. It would look amazing.
I'm very serious, actually. It would look amazing, but I think there's no way that it's ever going to happen.
When it comes to interior design, I get the impression Nicole doesn't joke. Back inside, she's been working on replicating the 18th century wallpaper to use in the tea room.
What we've decided to do is to see if we can create our own version of this wallpaper. So what would be nice is to have some areas more faded than others so that it looks perhaps like it's been there for a very long time.
With a bespoke wallpaper design, complete with aged effect, it's at least one job less.
Have you done it there? That's better.
But they only have 3 months to get the tea room ready for the summer season. And the floor is currently an unseemly mix of unfinished concrete and replica tiles. This needs replacing and could take weeks. To save time, Stefan's come up with a shortcut, installing a modern resin flooring.
This is the idea I would like to achieve over here in the castle. You just put a nice coat of resin over the existing concrete. It's easy to install, it's quickly done, it just dries and it's finished.
Typically found in airports and hospitals, I have to say, it's a bold choice for an 18th century castle.
I think it's just going to look brilliant because it's going to be so modern in such an old place. So.
Come on in, David.
This morning they're meeting David, a resin flooring specialist from London.
You've got quite a task on your hands, haven't you?
We talked about having a resin floor.
So it's been designed to replace vinyl, if you like. So it's like a liquid vinyl. It has flexibility to it.
The aim is to create a seamless floor throughout the tea room. They just need to decide on the colour.
That colour works really nicely. It looks like it's perfect. I think it looks fab. All of that together.
They do look good. And that's quite a find, isn't it, really?
Such a find.
David leaves with instructions for Nicole and Stefan to check if there is solid concrete beneath the old tiles, as resin flooring must be laid on a dry, solid base.
It's just earth.
Very peculiar.
It's bad news. With no concrete base, their plan for the tea room floor is in tatters.
The thing is that in order to put the resin floor down, it has to be free of moisture below it. Otherwise, it can bubble. What we've discovered is all this kind of clay-like substance, sand, that's got a very high moisture content. It's kind of a nightmare.
It's a blow to their hopes of opening the tea room on time and starting to bring in some much-needed cash. Down in the south of France, things are looking much brighter for Paul. The swimming pool and decking are all fixed. He can now return to the love of his life.
It shouldn't be rattling.
He found it in the chateau when he first moved in.
It's an S2200, so it'd be interesting to see what year that's from. Crikey, it's from 1961, so it'd be great if I can get that going.
My guess is the warranty has expired, but Paul's eager to try and get it running again and toured the French countryside at a heady 20 kilometres per hour.
Normally it's either there's no spark or there's no petrol.
He's a novice at swimming pool maintenance, but he's got years of experience with engines.
My next door neighbour, his dad ran a garage. I used to play around and tinker with motorbikes and cars. Let's try it.
Paul hasn't seen his wife Allison for 3 weeks.
Maybe we can get it going now.
She's been working in Australia, earning money to help cover the chateau's running costs. And today she's come home.
Paul! 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 Where is he?
It looks to me like he's off to get some baguettes. Next time, there are shocks in store at Paul and Allison's as they renovate their dungeon.
Finger bone. Oh, yeah, finger bone, yeah.
Tim and Margaret may have bitten off more than they can chew with a full chateau of guests.
We've got 14 people coming in to have 28 fried eggs. Panicking.
And Angel has a surprise for Nicole.
There you go. You have been knighted.
Brilliant. This is so cool.